Does deleting your DPF actually double your fuel mileage? Will your engine last longer without all that regeneration heat? Can you really gain 100 horsepower just by removing a filter? And most importantly, is it worth the risk? These are the questions dominating every diesel forum on the internet. The answers? They're not what the aftermarket wants you to hear. The real fuel gain is 1 to 3 miles per gallon, not 15. The power increase from the pipe alone is often less than 5 horsepower. And that bulletproof longevity? It comes with a catastrophic turbo failure risk that most installers won't mention. Today, we're looking at the actual science behind DPF deletion. The back pressure physics, the combustion chemistry, the turbocharger mechanics, and the toxicological reality. No hype, no sales pitch, just the engineering data. In the world of diesel mechanics, there's a pervasive theory that your engine is choking. The argument is simple thermodynamics. The diesel particulate filter acts as a cork in the exhaust system, and if you remove it, you decrease pumping losses. Theoretically, the engine runs cooler, lasts forever, and gets double the fuel economy. The forums will tell you a deleted truck is bulletproof, but when we examine the actual fluid dynamics and chemistry, the reality is far more complex than just pulling the cork. We need to understand what happens to exhaust flow velocity, turbocharger vane geometry, and most critically, the pressure differential that keeps modern turbos stable. To understand what happens when you delete, you first need to understand what you're removing and why it exists. A DPF is a wall flow filter made of silicon carbide, a ceramic honeycomb structure with thousands of tiny channels. Unlike a simple screen that traps particles on the surface, this is a depth-loading filter. Exhaust gases are forced through porous ceramic walls that trap microscopic soot, particulate matter as small as 0.1 microns, before it exits the tailpipe. The filter isn't optional environmental theater. It's designed to capture the byproduct of incomplete combustion that occurs in all diesel engines. When that filter fills up with enough soot to create measurable back pressure, your ECU initiates what's called active regeneration. This is where the engineering gets interesting. The system dumps raw diesel fuel into the exhaust stroke, not the combustion stroke, to raise exhaust temperatures to 600 degrees Celsius and incinerate the accumulated soot into ash. Essentially, you're post-combusting fuel in the exhaust manifold to clean the filter. This ash accumulates over time and eventually requires professional cleaning, but the soot itself burns off regularly. This is where the efficiency argument begins. Critics say this process is parasitic. You're literally washing cylinder walls with fuel just to burn off waste. The science does support this concern, but the magnitude matters. A 2022 study on real-world driving cycles found that during an active regeneration cycle, fuel consumption spikes by roughly 13%. But here's the critical detail most people miss. That spike only lasts for 15 to 20 minutes per tank, and regeneration only occurs every 300 to 500 miles depending on driving conditions. When you average it out over the entire tank, the overall fuel penalty of a healthy DPF system is often negligible, less than 1%, compared to factors like aerodynamic drag, tire pressure, or aggressive acceleration patterns. Now let's talk about the horsepower myth, because this is where the aftermarket gets deliberately misleading. The forums claim 100 horsepower increases from a straight pipe. Walk into any diesel shop and they'll show you dyno charts with massive gains. The reality? Most verified independent dyno tests show that the raw hardware power gain, simply replacing the filter with a straight pipe on a completely stock ECU map, is often less than 5 horsepower. In some cases, it's virtually undetectable within the margin of dyno error. Those massive 80 to 120 horsepower gains people brag about? They almost always come from the aggressive ECU tune flashed simultaneously to prevent check engine lights and limp mode, not from the pipe itself. The tune increases rail pressure, advances injection timing, extends injection duration, and modifies turbo boost targets. You're essentially paying for a tune disguised as a pipe. The pipe is just the delivery mechanism that prevents fault codes when the tune tries to flow more exhaust than the stock system can handle. So what about fuel economy? Does deleting actually double your mileage like the forums claim? Real-world data from light-duty trucks shows an improvement of roughly 1 to 3 miles per gallon. On heavy-duty rigs pulling consistent loads, this can rise to 2 to 4 mpg. The gain is real, but it's not revolutionary. It comes primarily from eliminating that 13% regeneration penalty and reducing pumping losses during high-load operation. If you're a commercial operator putting 100,000 miles per year on a truck, those 2 to 4 mpg add up. For a weekend warrior putting 12,000 miles per year on a diesel, you're looking at maybe $200 in annual fuel savings. But here's where it gets dangerous. And this is the risk the aftermarket never mentions. If you delete the hardware without a perfect ECU tune calibrated specifically for your driving conditions, fuel economy can actually drop by 10 to 15%. Why? Because your ECU, still thinking the filter is there, attempts what we call phantom regenerations, injecting raw fuel into an empty pipe based on calculated soot load algorithms. This unburned fuel doesn't combust. It washes down the cylinder walls, diluting your oil and destroying engine lubrication within 5,000 miles. You end up with fuel in your crankcase, accelerated bearing wear, and potential piston ring damage. This brings us to the most critical point that the internet systematically ignores: the turbocharger overspeed risk. The common belief is that deleting extends engine life by lowering exhaust gas temperatures and reducing back pressure. While it's true that lower EGTs reduce thermal stress on the cylinder head and exhaust valves, removing back pressure creates a fatal mechanical flaw that can destroy your turbo. Modern variable geometry turbos are engineered to rely on the specific back pressure of the DPF to control their vane speed and shaft RPM. The turbine wheel isn't just spinning freely, it's operating against a calibrated resistance. When you remove that pressure without precise, expensive recalibration, the turbo can overspeed, spinning beyond its physical bearing limits and design tolerances. This leads to catastrophic shaft failure, often within 20,000 miles of the delete. You're not just letting it breathe, you're removing the counterforce that keeps the turbo assembly mechanically stable at high boost. Without that back pressure, the pressure differential across the turbo seals changes dramatically, often leading to oil leaks into the compressor housing. You end up with blue smoke from burning oil and eventual turbo seizure. But here's the irony that makes this entire debate more complex. A clogged DPF can also destroy your turbo through excessive back pressure, carbon buildup in the VNT mechanism, and turbine wheel fatigue from temperature spikes during failed regenerations. So you have two failure modes. A blocked filter kills the turbo through too much pressure. A deleted filter kills the turbo through too little pressure. The only safe zone is a properly functioning clean DPF with regular maintenance. This is why the just delete it solution is mechanically naive. You're trading one turbo failure mode for another. Now let's address the data that gets buried. A functional DPF captures over 99% of particulate matter. Delete it, and emissions spike 20 to 50 times higher. NOx increases 3 to 5 times. Legally, EPA fines reach $5,000 per violation, and your truck becomes unsellable. Dealerships refuse trade-ins outright. So here's the bottom line. Yes, a DPF delete reduces pumping losses, but you're trading a 13% fuel penalty during regeneration for catastrophic turbo risk, toxic emissions, and destroyed resale value. The best modification isn't a straight pipe. It's quality fuel, proper oil changes, and highway driving to allow full regeneration.